What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing? Child, trying to get myself together. I was laying down. I said, let me get my butt up because I'm about to sit here and fall asleep, and then I'm gonna be up and they're gonna be able to go to sleep tonight. I said, let me get my butt up. My plan was to do some reviews, but as you can see, that did not happen. I guess the notification didn't go out, but how's everybody doing? Hey, Dominique. Hey, Lock Queen. What's up, baby? What's going on? Let me share this video. Let me let everybody know we live, honey. Let me let everybody know. You know, I feel like on the weekends, my notifications just don't go out. Like during the week, they seem like they do pretty good, but on the weekends, honey, it seems like they don't really go out like that. But anyway, we here. How's everybody doing? How is everyone doing? What's up, nephew? Hey, what's up, Ash? How you doing, boo? Yep. Abby, did you want the link? Or you don't feel like it? See here. Or you don't feel like it? You had to get up too? Child. You in bed? Okay, no problem. We ain't gonna be here that long. Cause we gonna be talking, we doing a live conversation about Married at First Sight. And I don't know how many of y'all even watch Married at First Sight. It's just had a lot going on. Now I do smell a story that I need to keep my eye on that I was looking at. We might talk about it tomorrow after I can gather some more information. But it seems like some things are brewing down to the Black Lives Matter, honey. I hate to bring negative news about Black Lives Matter, but if it's some shenanigans and some bull hockey going on, then it's just some shenanigans and bull hockey going on. We'll talk about it, but we ain't gonna be here too long because there really ain't too much going on. It's been a quiet weekend, which is good. It's good. It's been a quiet weekend. It ain't been a whole lot of foo-na-na and shenanigans. And then I'm gonna get off of here and do some reviews. I still ain't done daggone. It's been a lazy weekend. Because let me tell y'all something. I did a video on Friday that I forgot. I never uploaded it. I did a video on Friday on DMX. And I never uploaded it. I'm still going to upload it, even though I think people are tired of talking about DMX. But I'm going to still upload it. Hey, Xavier. Hey, boo. And I'm going to get you guys T.S. Madison and Rue. Drag race. I'm gonna get y'all that tonight. And then I think that's it. I'm gonna be caught up because we're gonna talk about Married at First Sight right now, honey. And I'm gonna be caught up, well, at least until tonight, because of course we got them Housewives and Married to Medicine, and then it's the final 90-day fiance. But that's a where are they now type of situation. We don't have to. I don't know what we're gonna do with that. But anyway, let's get into it now. Even if you guys do not watch Married at First Sight, y'all know the concept of Married at First Sight. It's a TV show where people who have given up on trying to find love on their own, have turned it over to the so-called experts to match them up. They agree to get married sight unseen and go through this like social experiment where they have to live together as husband and wife. It's a legal marriage. Live together as husband and wife for 7 weeks, I believe it is. And then at the end of 7 weeks, they make a decision about whether they want to keep, they want to stay married or be out. So we almost done. Okay. I think they've already had their 1 month anniversary. We about a month and a half in. I think they have 18 days left to stay married. So let's talk a little bit about it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about it. Okay, so let's just start with Jacob and Hayley. And I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna start with Jacob and Hayley because I think for the most part they're the easiest couple to start with. And I'm gonna tell you why they're the easiest couple to start with, because they need to just go on and get divorced and be done with it. So for those of you who do not watch the show, let me give y'all a little background on Jacob. Okay, well, I don't know about Daddy Xavier, but I think he's a virgin personally. I just think the man is a virgin. So Jacob is an older guy. Isn't he like in his early 40s, you guys? And he has an obsession with the 80s. Like he has this whole nostalgia thing going with the 80s. That is his thing. He likes to wear the fanny packs and the neon and the sun. Like anything from the 80s is his thing. Now, I forgot what Jacob does for a living, but Jacob has a really nice house where he's just in a constant state of home improvement. Like he's one of those people. You ever met people who have a house and when they get finished decorating one room or doing something to one room and they move right on over to the next project and they basically are always in a state of redecorating their homes. And so that's what we have going on with Jacob, right? Hayley is one of those people that goes out on dates, and if the guy uses a toothpick at the table, she'd be like, I can't date a guy that uses a toothpick at the table. And then she might go out on another date and the guy walk on the left instead of the right. I can't stand a man who walk on the right instead of the left. And then she go on another date and the guy's left-handed. Oh no, I can't stand a man that's left-handed. She's one of those people. And so she thought that getting married would help her because hey, SCK, how you doing? Because she can't seem to stay with anything. Okay. Now, the way the show goes at the wedding, I mean, they have like a real everything, a real wedding, real reception. Like they don't take no shortcuts and all that other stuff. At the wedding, while they're standing at the altar, they get to hear what other people's friends and family, just how they describe them. So they sort of get an insight on who they're getting ready to marry. When Jacob's friends was talking about his obsession with the 80s, I think in that moment she decided she was over it. I just feel like in that moment she decided she was over it. Like 80s. Here's what I think happened between Jacob and Hayley. When they was on their honeymoon in Vegas, they actually had sex. I think Hayley got drunk one night. They stumbled into bed. They had sex. The sex wasn't good. And she's been trying to get out of this marriage ever since. I think she's going through the motions for the purposes of making good TV and fulfilling her contract. But she has no interest in being with this man. I just don't believe she does. Now, I'm not saying that Jacob is perfect. I think Jacob got a little bit of awkwardness with him as well. But I think Jacob is really trying or was really trying. I think that he has a hard time expressing himself and being clear in what he's saying, but I don't believe that he doesn't know what he's saying. Like he knows exactly what he's saying. You know what I mean? So fast forward, this episode, they were meeting with the experts. Dr. Cherry, one of the and Pastor Kyle, right? And ultimately, Dr. Cherry told Hayley, you ain't really been trying. Like, he has adjusted, he has tried. You haven't really been trying. You have not made a good faith effort, okay? And I think that sort of took her back because I think in her mind, she thought she was doing everything right. And she was, Dr. Pepper. What I call her? My bad, Dr. Pepper. I'm sorry. Whatever I said wrong, I'm sorry. And Dr. Pepper had to let her know, listen, I've been watching the tape. Okay. You have, because like she bought him new clothes because she doesn't like the way he dresses. And there's a thin line, right? Like I can understand wanting to upgrade your man, right? But there's a thin line between I'm gonna buy you some nice stuff and sort of upgrade you versus you're an embarrassment to me and I don't like being in public and I need you to wear these clothes. But what I have noticed, you could tell that Jacob was a little taken aback by that. But what I have noticed is that Jacob is wearing them clothes. Have y'all noticed that Jacob is wearing those clothes that she bought him? So I feel like to me, that's a way that somebody is showing you that they are trying because Jacob wearing them clothes. So Hayley is one of those women who believe they just got to show up. I think Hayley is one of those people that believe that she's right. Like in this situation, she just thinks that her way of doing things is right. She's right. And Jacob is just wrong. That and there's an age gap there that I think is a problem too. Because let me be clear. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. So are there things about the 80s that are corny? Absolutely. Like any generation you look back on, and we can look back on it and be like, oh my gosh, that was so crazy. But I understand everybody has their own thing that they collect things or they have nostalgia about things. I don't know if I would have a problem with it if I would, and again, especially since this is a love at first sight situation, so we're getting to know each other. I think that, and then what else we found out in this episode was Jacob sort of turned into sort of more of an introvert out of need. I mean, not out of need, out of necessity, because a lot of his friends started getting married and started adjusting their lives accordingly. Because when you get married, life has to change. Like, you can't be out every weekend. We're going to get to that about how some of these people don't want to change their life. But you can't get out there and go every weekend and do everything or whatever. And so he was saying how, a lot of his friends started, that he wasn't hanging out as much and he wasn't spending much time with his friends. So, I don't know. I like Jacob. Again, I'm not saying Jacob is perfect, because I think Jacob keeps things inside and then he sort of explodes, and that's not healthy either. But I also think that both of them have pretty much checked out and they're just trying to get to the end. But Xavier, I think that's what a lot of people have. When people have nostalgia about time periods, that's what the nostalgia is about. Because we look back on things with rose-colored glasses and we say, oh, well, life was just so much better then. And it may have been better in certain areas, but nothing is perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can look back on the 80s and think that the 80s were great because it was my childhood and I ain't had to worry about bills and all that. I can look back on it and have a sense of nostalgia. But then you look at the flip side of the 80s. I mean, we had the crack epidemic. We had, the Cold War with Russia. We were worried about a nuclear holocaust. Like, it wasn't perfect. But there were definitely things that I can look back on and have a wonderful nostalgia about. The music, when I hear certain songs, all of that. Exactly, Regina. She even said last week, he was like, I mean, you won't even hug me. He was like, you hug strangers. She was like, yeah, I can hug a stranger and then never have to see them again. What kind of fucking logic is that? That you are more comfortable hugging a stranger than you are hugging your own husband because you never have to see them again. Like, ugh. Hey, what's up, biggest sexy VA? Hi, boo. So yeah, so that's them. Again, I think that they are checked out. I think they're just biding their time and showing up when they got to show up and doing what they have to do to fulfill their contract. I don't think that there's any interest in this marriage of really working. Nor should I think it. I don't think it should, because I think they will be miserable. I don't think there's a road to happiness for Jacob and Hayley. I just don't. Not at this point. I think Hayley has made this a really, really difficult thing. I think there were times where they could have still found a way, but I just don't think there's a road to happiness for them. Now, if y'all think it's different, y'all go ahead and put it in the chat, but I just don't think there's a road to happiness for these two. Now, y'all tell me if y'all think different, but that's how I feel about that. Okay. Now, let's just talk about Claire and do I want to talk about Claire and Ryan? Yeah, let's go and talk about Claire and Ryan, because their situation ain't that deep either. I mean, it is, but it isn't. At the end of the day, I think that Ryan may not have been honest about certain things. Because here's the thing. They ask certain questions on these questionnaires, and I think either people aren't being honest when they're answering these questions, or the show is manipulating things for it to be what they're being. Because we already know that they asked about people being a virgin, because when Claire met with the other doctor a few weeks ago, she said, well, do you think that, he's a virgin? Do you think he was, deceitful in how he answers the questions? So we know that they ask a question. We know that they ask a question about being a virgin. Now, some people are saying that they think Ryan is gay. Some people are saying that they think he's a virgin. I just think Ryan's a virgin. I think Ryan is very religious, because he admitted, we found out this week, that he's had a lot of long-term relationships where sex was not an issue. So it sounds to me like he has not had sex. I just don't think he's had sex. And I think he's treating his marriage like he treated all his other relationships, like we're not ready to have sex yet. But sir, you're married, and so you just need to get ready. Okay. Now, Claire, on the other hand, has a very high sex drive, and she's one of those people that feels the exact opposite. Like, I feel like she's one of the people that have sex on the first date type people. You know what I'm saying? And so, and again, I'm not saying one is right or one is wrong. It ain't my business. But I just think this might have been a situation where the show manipulated, because just like I'm sure they asked questions about being a virgin, I'm sure they asked questions about your views on sex. You know, are you a... I believe that these questionnaires were probably very detailed. And either people lied on their questionnaires or the production manipulated, which we know that this show has to be produced. We know that they have to give us some sort of excitement. So I believe that the show was probably well produced. I mean, it was just probably produced and put these people together. Because Claire has been very clear from the beginning that sex is very important and she doesn't take it that serious. Like, to her, sex is not a big deal. I see her being the kind of person that has sex on the first day. I said that already. Because I don't think she's like, sex is a major thing for her. I don't think, and she said that. She said sex is just sex. It's not a big deal. It's just sex. And so now we have Claire and Ryan who, yeah, they have some other issues that they're not dealing with. Because I think the sex issue is so boom, 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 boom. Because for Claire to be like, oh, we're doing great, it's a 10 out of 10. They've been saying that since the honeymoon, that they've had this perfect relationship and everything is great. But then every episode, we see little things happening here and there that make you be like, I mean, things aren't so great and things aren't so perfect. And if I have to sit there and watch Brian be like, sure. Oh, sure. Claire even doing it now. Sure. Listen, they get on my nerves. Now, I think what's going to end up happening with them is, I think they're going to finally end up having sex before decision day. It's not going to be that great, but Claire is going to hang in there with him. She might, you know what, SCK, she may very well feel that way. I mean, he may very well feel that way. He may very well feel that way. That's valid. That's valid. He may very well feel like she's a little too loose for him. Because he's very religious. And she said, and you know, that's the other thing that came up on this episode, was the religion piece of it. Was, you know, that religion is very important to him. But because she was sort of forced into religion growing up, that she's sort of gotten away from it, and she's not that pressed about raising her children to be religious, that she, you know, wants to allow them to make their own decision when they're old enough to make a decision, that she doesn't want to force religion on them. But I don't think that's going to be cool for Ryan. Ryan has been very clear about how he feels about his religion, and not just spirituality, but religion. And I'm surprised that they have not given us more on that, as far as Ryan going to church, her not going to church. Like, if he's that you know, religious, I'm surprised we haven't gotten stuff with that, as far as Ryan going to church and stuff like that. So I don't know. Hey, what's up, Lady Steph? Hey, boo. Hey, Miguel. How you doing, babes? So that's how I feel about that. I think they were a production couple, because why would you hook up a very religious person with someone who's non-religious? That's what I'm saying. I do believe that some of these things are negotiated, are manipulated to see how the couples will work it out, if it can be worked out. I mean, with everything, I think some of this stuff is, you know, we see some manipulation. So Ryan and Claire, I give them a 50-50 chance. Do I think they should stay together? No, I don't. I really don't. I think ultimately, you know, there's some things that people just can't compromise on, and religion is just one of them, and you shouldn't have to. And if Ryan feels very, very strongly about his religion, his faith, his spirituality, and Claire is clear that not only is it not a big deal to her, but any child she brings into this world, she's not going to make it a big deal. I don't know how that works in the long term. SCK, I agree with you 100%. I said that in my review last week, because here's the problem. He's having his cake and eating it too. If you desire intercourse and y'all are having a lot of foreplay and he's getting off and you're not getting off, there is no incentive for him to do anything differently. There's no incentive for him to change his mind. I'm sorry. If he's getting off she said every night, if you getting him off every night, however that's happening, whether you're doing it, through fellatio or through a hand job, whatever, however it's happening and he's getting off and you not, no ma'am, we're not playing that game. If I'm going to bed frustrated, you're going to bed frustrated too. But the problem is he ain't going to bed frustrated because if he is a virgin, he don't care. He don't care. Yeah, I don't get gay off of him. I do get virgin though. I get virgin. And I think that the longer this lingers, the harder it's going to be for him. I think he should have just went on and bit the bullet down to the Vegas. They could have wrote it off as, oh, it's just jitters. Oh, we're nervous. See, that's what Hayley did with Jacob. Hayley was like, listen, I don't think I'm really feeling Jacob like that. But let me do this. Let me just go ahead and see if it's anything in the bedroom going on. If it's anything, in the bedroom going to spark it off. And when it didn't, she was like, okay, well, that's a wrap. I think that's what they should have done with, like, go ahead. Let's go on and knock this out. Let's go on and knock this out and see how this is. You know what I'm saying? Child. But I agree with you on that one. So that's Claire and Ryan. I just think it's a 50-50 with them. Because I don't think they should stay married, but I think they might. That's what I'm saying, Lika. That's what I'm saying. You ain't going to be getting off and I ain't getting off. That's not happening. Like I said, if I'm going to bed frustrated, you going to bed frustrated. We're just going to roll over and be frustrated together. Because that ain't happening. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Pam. Nope. You might get me once. You might even get me twice. But no, ma'am, you won't get me 3 times on that one. And you know what, SCK? I think that that's true. Like when you're involved with somebody, you have things that you like. They have things that they like. And y'all have to teach each other. I mean, there's some basic things we know. We know what sex is. We know what actual sex looks like in the intercourse. But there are things that I like that you might not know that I like, and there are things that you like that I wouldn't know that you like, and that's part of getting to know each other, and that's why you can't just take one time and judge from there, especially in a long-term situation. If y'all are trying to be married, and this wasn't no like one-night stand booty call situation, so if you did it once and you was drunk and he was drunk and maybe y'all fumbled through it and it wasn't good, okay, that unfortunately it happens. Now we gotta find our happy place. We gotta get to our happy place. Child. Anyway, that's how I feel about them. Okay. Let me get to Brianna and Vince, because normally Brianna and Vince don't give me a whole lot because I like them and I thought they were doing really well. But now this week, I have to take a little bit of pause with Miss Brianna. I saw another side to Miss Brianna. Now, at the beginning of the series, her friend said that she was bossy and she likes to get her way. Okay. I'm going to change that bossy and like to get her own way to selfish. I think Brianna is selfish. He wants to sit down and do a budget because he wants to eventually, if they stay married, they want to move into a home. They sit down to do their budget. Now, let's be clear. We do know that it takes a lot for a woman to look good, okay? The hair budget, the nail budget. She says she got a waxing budget. All of that stuff we know goes into a woman looking good. And it can become very expensive. If you get your hair done every 2 weeks, even without braids and weaves and all that, just going for a wash, blow, dry, and curl could be $70, $80 and up. Just for a wash, blow, dry, and curl, right? If you go every 2 weeks, well, that's $140, $150 right there. Okay. Then we got your waxing budget. I'm not touching that because I ain't touching that. But I know, like for myself, my nails. I know I get my nails done every 3 weeks, about give or take around 3 weeks. So that's at least once a month, sometimes twice a month, depending on the situation. And you got to get your pedicure. Okay. So again, that's another $100 and something. All right. So a woman's budget can become expensive. That is a fact. But now there are other things in that budget that I feel like we could adjust. Because first of all, she's talking about something she like to get her hair braided, and it's $350 a month. Oh, well, no, she said at least $250 a month. Okay. Hey, Tracy, what's up? Then she was talking about, they were talking about their entertainment budget, which was like 200. He said, $200 a month. And she was like, what? That's like one date. Again, I wouldn't say it's one date. If you're going out to eat, maybe 3 dates. If you're not going to like if y'all just going and getting burgers, or if y'all just going to breakfast down to the IHOP or the Cracker Barrel or whatever. Now, of course, if you go on a brunch where brunch is $60, $70, of course you're going to spend $200 on one meal, right? If you're going to a high-end restaurant, of course. But I feel like that's not something you need to do with every meal. And this is coming from somebody that enjoys going to nice restaurants, but I don't every single meal. Also, there is such thing as free fun. I think people need to get into finding free fun. There's a lot of stuff you can do. They live in Atlanta. There are a lot of things you can do in Atlanta to have a good time without, because she was like, well, I want to go on dates, and I don't want to just sit in the house with my husband. That's not what I got married for. But you can go out on dates that don't cost you a whole lot of money. Y'all can go on picnics. The last week they went on a bike ride together. You could go to the aquarium. Atlanta's got all sorts of landmarks. You can go on a road trip. You can go up to Stone Mountain. There are a lot of things you can do in any city. It's not just Atlanta. That's free. And again, I know that that's not always easy, but get in. Let me say something. Me and my best friend, back when she first got her license, and we just wanted excuses to drive because she's older than me, so she got her license first, and she got a little car first. And we were just looking for excuses to drive, but we ain't had no whole lot of money. We used to go through DC, the newspaper, it was called like the Washingtonian, like the section of the paper, the Washingtonian, and it would be all kinds of free stuff going on. And we would find all kinds of fun stuff to do that we could just drive to, and a lot of it wasn't free, or it was a very, very nominal amount of money. I remember one time we went to this event, and they had a lot of the Washington former, team, Washington football team. And it was a free event. And it had a lot of current players were at this event. Now, we found out once we got there that it was an event, because this was back when they were getting ready to build their new stadium. We found out later on that this was an event where they were trying to woo people to this particular part of Virginia because they wanted to win the contract to build the stadium. But in the moment, girl, I didn't care about that part. I was just like, I've always been a big football fan. I am literally meeting players because there wasn't a lot of people there. And we were literally just walking up to players and having conversations with players. Free. So for her to make it seem like the only way that they can have fun together is they spending a whole lot of money, I was just like, well, that's very, very one-sided. Also, staying home isn't bad either. A Netflix and chill with your husband should not be a chore. Game night with your husband should not be a chore. Invite some friends over. Have a little dinner party. After dinner, play some cards. Play some Monopoly. Like, that's the kind of stuff. Because here's the reality of the situation. If he was saying, you're right, Alikala, that's her love language. That is absolutely her love language. If he was saying, this is what I think our permanent life should look like. But what he was saying was, we need to figure out ways to cut back on our spending so we can buy a house and we can save some money. He wasn't saying, I think you just spend too much money and you don't never, ever, ever need to do anything nice. He was saying, I'm trying to set some short-term goals for us that include improvement of our life, meaning buying a home and putting some money in the bank, saving some money. I don't think what he was saying was ridiculous. I don't think it was out of the realm of reality. Then I'm like, she was like, well, I make good money. I think I should be able to spend. Basically, I don't see the problem with me spending what I make. See, she seemed like one of those, which I'm surprised to find this out about her, but she seemed like one of those people that feel like just because I got a 401k, my retirement is good, I can spend the rest. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And he even said, I used to be one of those people. Like, I used to be one of those people that used to just blow money. But I'm trying to be better and more responsible. So it's not even like he don't get it. He gets it. I also think that because he is an entrepreneur and he's probably seen some rough months, I also think that might have something to do with it too. Like, she has steady employment. She doesn't have to worry about a bad month. Like he does the custom car sales, like the high-end car sales. So I'm sure he makes good money when the money's good because, you know, he has clients that's buying Bentleys and Porsches and Benzes, you know, high-end Benzes and stuff. And his commissions are probably pretty good. But I'm sure in this last year when people wasn't really buying, I mean, there was still some people making money during the pandemic, but I'm sure his business slowed down. I'm thinking that he's probably thinking along those lines. See, whereas with her paycheck gonna be her paycheck. And yes, she's an engineer making good money. Now, I'm going to say this. I knew she spent a lot of money. Remember when they went over to her apartment to pack up her apartment? I know what the shoe boxes look like because I got some of them myself. Y'all saw all them shoe boxes she had. Did y'all see all the Michael Kors boxes? Did you see the Louboutin box? Like, I knew this. She spent a lot of damn money. When they showed her closet and showed all them shoes, I said, if it was 100 shoe boxes, 80 of them shoe boxes were Michael Kors. I know what the box looks like. She also had Louboutin. She also had UGG. Like, you saw that she liked to spend money. Now, I think she can afford to spend the way she spends. But I just think that the reason I've been going on this way longer than I intended to. But anyway, y'all get the point. He has a family, so he is looking at things differently. Yeah. The other thing was when he was saying how she be waking him up early in the morning and they don't have nowhere to go. And he was like, I don't understand why I can't sleep in. Like, if we ain't going to dinner, I mean, if we're not going to breakfast, we don't have a date, if nothing is happening, it's Saturday morning or whatever morning it is. If I don't have to be up until 11, don't wake me up at 7. And when he was like, he talked to the doctors about it or whatever, and, you know, that they should come up with a compromise. And she was like, well, the compromise can be that you go to bed earlier at night. No, ma'am. First of all, this isn't something to compromise on. If I don't have to be up, I don't understand why I can't sleep in. You're not my mama. Like, you're my wife. I don't even understand why that was something we needed to compromise on. I think that was something he needed to articulate to her and tell her that he likes to sleep in when he doesn't have to get up because he works hard and he does stay up late, because everybody's sleep pattern ain't the same. She might be one of those people that goes to bed early, so she's up early. For me, for example, I'm a night person. I literally have to force myself to go to bed when I know I have to get up in the morning, and I probably don't get enough sleep. Like, I probably really don't. But at the end of the day, it's who I am. I deal with the consequences of it. No, nobody else deal with the consequences of me not getting up in the morning. Or, I mean, not getting up in the morning, but I mean, me, you know, being sluggish in the morning. Don't nobody deal with them consequences. So if you let the man sleep, if y'all don't have nowhere to go, I don't see why that's a compromise. And for her, in her mind, to translate, oh, well, you could just go to bed earlier and you could get off your phone because, you know, you come to bed and you still on your phone. Like, that stops you from that don't have nothing to do with me deciding to sleep in because I don't have shit to do. Maybe I'm still on my phone because I don't have shit to do the next day. So why not? Maybe I am looking at TikTok for an hour because I don't have shit to do in the morning and I want to look at TikTok. Like, I don't understand it's not the same. Right, Xavier? Exactly. You know what, Xavier? I never had a problem when B. Simone made the comment she made about I think people, again, y'all know how I feel about people getting too sensitive about what other people's opinions. I don't really think that what B. Simone said was wrong. I mean, I understood what she was saying. It is a different mindset. When somebody's an entrepreneur, it is a totally different mindset. And dating an entrepreneur is hard if you don't have an entrepreneur mindset. And that doesn't make it right or wrong. It just makes it different. You know, there's a mindset of somebody who is an entrepreneur, and the way they hustle and the way they grind is different. It's just different. And so I do think that there's a level of understanding. What's up, Diva? I do think there's a level of understanding when people are when people are entrepreneurs, I think it's a different mindset. So I don't know, y'all. I was rooting for Brianna and Vincent, but this episode gave me a side eye. Now, I still think they can make it work, but I think that Brianna is going to have to, someone is going to have to be able to hold up a mirror to her and let her see it from the other side and see how selfish she's being. The other thing that came up between them was this whole child thing. Now, this right here might be the deal breaker, okay? Those other two things we can work with, but this might be the deal breaker. Listen, and we talked about this when we were talking about Ready to Love. I'm never going to be mad at somebody for telling me what they want and what they don't want in a relationship. I'm not going to be mad at a man for telling me, listen, I don't really like dating black women. I prefer white women. Okay. I'm not going to be mad at a man for saying, listen, I really don't prefer to date big women, BBWs, whatever. I like my women small and petite. That is great. I appreciate you. I appreciate you letting me know so we don't even need to go down that road. That's great. That's great. Mm-hmm. I appreciate a man saying, listen, I really don't like short women because I'm short. I really don't like short women. I like my women to be a little taller than what you are. That's great. That's great. Because here's the thing. I think you have your right to whatever your preference is. I don't have no problems, even if it might sound bad to someone who's hearing it. I have no problems with you having your own preference because we all have them. We all have them. Whether we bold enough to articulate them or not, we all have preferences. And regardless of what we say, the first thing we see is the visual. That's it. That's the first thing we see is the visual. But here's my problem. I have a problem with somebody telling me what I want to hear, and it's not real and it's not true. Just like I know they asked them people about their sexual promiscuity and preferences and are you a virgin or not? I know good and damn well they asked them people if they want children. I know they did. Because listen, I have been on online dating apps, and that's a question that they ask you on an online dating app. So I damn sure know that these people who went through this whole process, they say they go through this process for months and months and months, and they have to go through questionnaires, and they have to go through interviews, and they have to have psych evaluations, and all of this stuff to be on this show. I know good and damn well they ask these people if they want children. I believe 120% that Vincent said he wanted children. Unequivocally. I know he said he wanted children. I know he did. It's not a preference rooted in foolishness, Xavier. If you like what you just like what you like. No, it's not. Because I don't want to date a white man. So there's nothing wrong with that. I am not attracted to white men. I love white, I've had friends who are white men. I don't have no problem with white men. I personally am just not attracted sexually to a white man. So if a man tells me that he is not sexually attracted to a black woman, I'm okay with that. I don't think it means that is something wrong with you. Everybody has a preference. Now, whether people are honest about those preferences, that's another conversation. But everybody has a preference. Now, hey, what's up, little baby? Now, I don't know what God's plan is for me. Maybe I will stumble into a white man who will sweep me off my feet. But again, it would have to be a sneak attack because I ain't looking for him. I ain't looking for him. I ain't checking for him. I ain't looking for him. That doesn't mean that you can't fall in love with what you didn't think was your type. What I'm saying is everybody has a type. That's it. That's all. So I can't be mad at a man telling me that he ain't attracted to a black woman because I ain't attracted to white men. Period. So anyway. So I think it is unfair that Brianna and Virginia, who we're going to get to Virginia in a minute, But I think it's unfair that Brianna and Virginia are both sitting here, him and Han, about having children, when I know good and damn well that Vincent and Brian both said they wanted kids. I know they did. And their reasons for not wanting to have children is bullshit to me. Brianna talking about, one, because again, I'm going to be honest with you, her reasoning sounds very vain to me. I don't want my body to change. Well, guess what? Whether you have children or not, your body is going to change. That is just a fact of life. Life is what life is. It's not a health issue. To say that I don't want to get pregnant because I have high blood pressure is bullshit. Do you know how many women have high blood pressure and get pregnant? That is not a precluding reason. Does it mean that you have to make sure that you are, talking to your doctor, and do they have to be cautious of it, and do they have to, take precautions? Absolutely. Listen, I think we have a false sense of reality in this country, not just this country, in this world. I think we have a false sense of reality in this world that because between TV and movies, we have been sold this idea that pregnancy is easy, that a woman has sex, she gets pregnant, she has this wonderful pregnancy minus a little bit of morning sickness for 8, 9 months, 10 months in reality. And then this baby just pops out and there are never any complications and there are never any problems and we don't have these other issues. And that's just not the reality. Women who are in perfect health before they get married get all kinds of stuff that happens to their body while they're married. They deal with diabetes. There are women who are only diabetic while they are carrying a child. I had a girlfriend, she was only diabetic while she was pregnant. She had to do the finger prick and everything. And she's had 3 children, and it was only while she was while she was pregnant. We have all kinds of things. It is not a perfect science with women and pregnancy. So to say that, oh, well, hers is a health issue, I'm sorry, that's bullshit. You have high blood pressure, ma'am. I don't mean no harm, but 70% of the world population got high blood pressure. That is not a reason to say, I'm afraid. The first thing she said was the change to her body. Let's be clear. She talked about her body changing. Then she talked about having high blood pressure. Listen, at the end of the day, you just don't think you want children. And it's okay. Hey, Auntie Dee, gestational diabetes. Thank you. It's okay, y'all. Listen, y'all know I've been clear about the fact that I don't want no children. And guess what? When I've gone on these dating apps and I see, and I'm looking at that guy, I have literally seen guys that we got a lot in common. He like what I like. We live in the same area. He's nice looking, all of that. And I get to that question, do you want children? And if they say yes, I keep it moving. Why? Because I already know I don't. So it's no need for me. We might have everything else in common, but if he don't want kids, he's telling me he wants kids. I got to keep it moving. He ain't the one. Shelby was severely diabetic and was encouraged for her not to have a baby because that's different. Now, I don't know who Shelby is. Who's Shelby? Who is Shelby? That's different. If your doctor has said, listen, you getting pregnant is going to be a problem, that's another conversation. But that ain't what she said. That ain't what she said. Now, and that ain't what she said in the beginning. In the beginning, when they were still on their honeymoon, she said she was open. Oh, you talking about from Still Magnolias? Yeah, well, that's a child. Y'all done went to Still Magnolias, child. But Shelby was diabetic beforehand. I'm talking about there are women, gestational diabetes, that they are not diabetic before they get pregnant. But whatever happens to the body, it makes them diabetic during their pregnancy. And again, there are women who have been told getting pregnant is probably not a good idea. I ain't talking about that. And that ain't what she said. That ain't what she said. And when they talked about it way back when they were on their honeymoon, she said she was hesitant about having children. She just wanted to wait. She never said no, or I'm worried about my health, or I don't think it's a good idea. She said, well, I just think we should wait, till we're a little bit deeper into our marriage just to make sure it's going to work out, which I understood 100%. Hell, you got married at first sight. I do think you should probably wait a year or so before you bring children into this situation until you really know what's going to work. Right now, it's a TV show. You got cameras in your face, all of that good stuff. But give it about a year. I'm okay with that. I don't think you should just jump into children. The question is, did a doctor tell her that already? Again, if a doctor told her that I will stand, I will stand, but that ain't what she said. She never said, my doctors don't feel like it's good for me to have, that it's going to be a good thing for me to get pregnant because of my health issues. She didn't say that. She didn't say that. But that ain't the impression I got either. The impression I got was she don't want to have no damn churn. Okay. So Brianna and Vincent got some things they need to work out, because for Vincent, now I think that's a deal breaker for him. Now, Vincent has been very meek and mild for a whole lot of this situation, but I think that is going to be the deal breaker for Vincent. Okay. I think that is the deal breaker for him. Okay. Now let's go ahead and talk about, so I'm still giving them a yes. Okay, I'm still giving them I think they'll stay together at the decision. I think they'll still stay together. I'm still giving them a yes, because so far so good with them. I know that the baby thing could be a non-negotiable, but I don't know. We're going. Okay. Exactly, little baby. She led with the physical stuff. She sure did. All right. Now, who we want next, y'all? We want Chris and Paige, or we want Brian and Virginia crazy ass? Here's the candle of the day, y'all. The candle of the day is tropical spice. Tropical spice. And this has essential oils in it. Smells pretty good. I'm gonna light the candle. Brianna and Vincent was the relationship goals. Right. They were in the beginning. I mean, I knew it wasn't gonna be a perfect role because we are producing a TV show, but they were doing pretty good. But I mean, I expected a few hiccups, but baby, this was a big one. Down with Crit Child. What Xavier say? Maybe Vincent and her just need to go to the doctor. They might, child. Brian and Virginia both need to be committed. No, I'm gonna tell you what. All right, so let's go on and go to Brian and Virginia, child, because Paige and Chris gonna be easy. That ain't even gonna take that long because I'm sick of both of their asses. Brian's problem is this. Brian know this shit wasn't gonna work, and he just trying to make it work. Brian like having that young tenderoni. That's what it is with Brian. Because Brian knew that shit wasn't going to work when her ass was drunk at the damn wedding. Brian knew that shit wasn't going to work when her ass was drunk all through their honeymoon. Brian knew that shit wasn't going to work when she told him that she liked to hang out with her friends and her male friends, and sometimes she even ended up sleeping on their couch. Brian knew that shit wasn't going to work when she told him that she liked that her weekends start on Thursday and last until Sunday, and she ain't changing it. That's when he knew this shit wasn't gonna work. But she probably good in bed. Okay. She make him feel a little something. Okay. Because let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you what I was sick of. I was sick of Brian and that damn dog. I understood what Brian was saying about the dog, but listen, if you don't go sit down somewhere and let that dog, listen, if the dog want to jump up on people and bite people, let Virginia handle that shit. That dog ain't legally bound to you. That, like she said, well, he's my dog. You ain't got to worry about it. And when she said that, I just said, you know what? You right. So when somebody sue your ass because the dog done bit them, I'm going to remind you that you said that, okay? Don't come to me. Don't ask me for shit. When you go on Judge Judy, you be there by your damn self, okay? When Judge Judy start cussing and fussing at you about your dog being out of control and you not having your dog on the leash and doing all this and doing all that, guess what? You gonna handle that because you just told me it ain't my business. So you know what? It ain't. You right. Me and my dog gonna be over here minding our good, well-behaved business. I didn't understand why he was making such a big deal about that damn dog, okay? But some of their other issues is the drinking. And did y'all see how fast Virginia shut that shit down when he tried to talk to her about the alcohol? Did y'all see that? She would rather talk about the kids that she don't want to have rather than talk about, because what the doctors told him was, when y'all are having important conversations, maybe y'all shouldn't drink, because it seems like the alcohol is causing some problems in y'all's communication situation when y'all get to drinking. And he was like, that's fine, I can do that. Child, he told her that maybe, when we start having serious conversations that we don't need to be drinking. Baby, you would think that he just called her mama a hoe. Did y'all see her face? No alcohol. No alcohol. Listen, Virginia's a drunk. Virginia's a drunk, y'all. And honestly, that's going to be their downfall. I think that, and here's another one. She seems like she's going to have a nervous breakdown. It does seem like I agree with that. Like, on a serious note, I do think that she's dealing with a lot of anxiety and things like that. And I do think that they might, I agree with that 100%. Virginia is a functioning alcohol, and I wouldn't want her drunk ass having my baby. Give the baby alcohol poisoning. Yeah, she is absolutely a functioning alcoholic. She is. And that's why she don't think she got a problem. I also think that that's part of the problem. I think that's why she don't want to have a baby. Now, there's another couple where Brian is adamant that he wants children and he wants them sooner rather than later because he's 38. He was like, I'm not going to be 50 years old chasing a child around. Like, I'm not going to be doing that. Like, I don't want to wait to start having my children. Like, I'm ready to have kids now. But I think that's part of it. I think she just don't want to have to stop drinking. I think that's part of it, of why she doesn't want children. Eric, I'm sorry. I've been calling that man Brian. Eric. Thank you, SCK. Eric. But I really do. I think that's part of it. I think she does not want to have children because she don't want to have to stop drinking. I'm serious. Did you notice that she started shaking when he was talking about not drinking? She couldn't even talk. Exactly. And then she changed the subject and was like, well, we need to talk about children. I said, so you would rather have a conversation about the children that you don't want to have rather than talk about not drinking? And he didn't even say we need to stop drinking. He said, while we're having serious conversations, we need to not drink so that we can be clear-minded in dealing with the issues. He also told her now, Eric, for those of y'all who do not know, Eric is a airline pilot. So, he's gone for 3 or 4 days. He goes on his trips and he's gone for 3 or 4 days at a time. And so when he's home, he told her, he said, listen, when I'm home, even if you've made plans with your friends, I'm going to need you to cancel those plans when I'm home. And she was like, well, I don't feel comfortable doing that because me and my friends make plans weeks in advance. Listen, your husband, who's an airline pilot, so he's making good money. Let's just start there. Your husband, and he's also in the reserve. He's also in the Air Force Reserve. So there are going to be weekends when he's out of town anyway. When he's home and he's saying, please don't schedule time with your friends when I'm in town so that me and you can spend some time together, I don't think that's an unrealistic request for your husband to make. Hold on, y'all. This is my mama. Hello? Sorry about that. Eric wants to be a pilot and leave his baby in the care of a drunkard. Oh, hell no. Well, now that part he probably ain't thinking through because that's not a good idea either. You're right about that. That is not a good idea either. But yeah, I just think for me, she may be thinking that she is not going to be drinking like would if he wasn't there, like she would if he wasn't there. Oh, you mean like hanging out with her friends? Yeah, I just don't think it's an unrealistic. I just don't think it's an unrealistic request. You have your husband who you just married has the kind of job that has him out of town for 3 or 4 days at a time. And I understand that you and your friends make plans in advance, but here's the reality. Your plans need to understand that. Like your friends need to understand that, the relationship ain't perfect. I don't mean it like that, but that his time is at 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So if y'all make, and I'm not talking about like if y'all bought concert tickets type plans. I mean, some stuff you can't change. If y'all bought tickets to go to a concert, I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. But okay, y'all decided y'all gonna go to brunch together. Child, you better go on somewhere. Just because we decided we was gonna go to brunch together, you better go on somewhere. My man is in town. Child. And the reality is you should want to. He shouldn't have to ask you to do that. With her friends, she drinks until she sure does. That's why she be sleeping on the daggone couch. So I don't know. I feel like Eric and Virginia, I don't know about them. I don't think they should stay together, but I think that they will. I think on decision day, I think they're going to stay together, but I don't think they should. The only couple that I feel like should stay together and work it out is Vincent and Brianna. And again, I think Brianna just needs to understand that this is no longer about her, and she does have to compromise, and that there are some things. Now, the kid thing, again, is an extreme situation, but the spending budget and him waking up early, those are small things that they can work out. Like, that's not a make or break of a marriage. The kids thing, that's a lot. That's a lot. Well, I can understand scheduling certain things. Like I said, if somebody's coming to town and y'all are buying tickets to see a show, that kind of stuff I understand. But if it's just, we going out for drinks, or we decided to do paint and sip, or that's the kind of shit that you can live without. Like, girl, okay, y'all, I'll make it to the next paint and sip. Yeah, I know my man in town. Like, it ain't that serious. But if it's something big, yeah. And I don't think that's what she's asking. I don't think that's what he's asking. I think he would understand that kind of stuff. Oh, we bought Bruno Mars tickets. Well, them tickets $100, $200, $300. I don't think he mean that kind of stuff. But if you bought like a $20, we're going to the paint and sip, child, go on, sit down somewhere. Right, exactly. And we were doing like if you were planning a girls weekend, and it was a weekend where you thought he was going to be out of town and then his schedule changed, that's something that's different. Like, listen, we done got ourselves a little Airbnb down in the country. We doing a girls weekend, going to a winery and that kind of thing. I thought this originally was a weekend you weren't supposed to be in town. That's different. I ain't talking about that kind of stuff either. But y'all know what we talking about. And she know what he talking about too. Now, the one thing about Eric that bothers me, that's true, is whenever they get into an argument, the first thing out her mouth is, first thing out his mouth is, well, we can just go. You can just go. It can be over. It can be over. The other thing is she doesn't want to move into his condo. And he was like, but you're renting. Oh, you was watching them. Hey, Jonathan. He's like, you're renting. I have a condo. It doesn't make sense to pay rent when I got a condo. And she was like, but I wanted to move into something that belongs to us. He was like, that's great, but that takes time. Like, ain't nobody about to buy a house with you. Like, we're not ready to do that. Like, literally, this is married at first sight. So you're not ready to have children with me, but you're ready to buy a house? Girl, if you don't go sit down somewhere. I don't know if I could see him getting that violent, but I could definitely see him putting her ass out in the middle of the night with her dog. I could definitely see him putting her ass out in the middle of the night. Just her and her dog. That's not funny. But yeah. Virginia, I think, is just not ready to grow up and be married. She wants the perks of being married and not the responsibility of it. She wants all of that stuff of being married, but she doesn't want the downside of being married or the hard work of it. You have mixed feelings about Eric. Well, what you got mixed feelings about Eric? I agree. He's too controlling. I'm just on episode 1. What are y'all talking about? What episode y'all? Which show y'all talking about? Oh, you talking about them, the show? Oh, the TV show. Okay. On Amazon. Okay. Yeah. All right, hold on, y'all. Okay. So Jonathan feels the same way. Jonathan said the same thing. So y'all feel like he's the kind of person that can just snap? That's what y'all feel like? That he can just snap? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know about him getting violent, but I definitely feel like that he's the kind of person that'll put her ass out in the middle of the night, though. I feel like that. He's more of a daddy to her. Eric has made some smart comments about, you better be glad I only handled it this way. Makes you think, ooh, that's interesting. 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 Okay. All right. Last but not least, we have Chris and Paige. Listen, I don't have no more energy for Chris and Paige. I really don't. On this episode, we saw Paige packing up the apartment. We saw Paige basically talking about, that she came into this with the best of intentions, and, it just was what it was. And the doctor told her, listen, just take for future reference that, you need to focus on you. You need to focus on, making sure you don't lose yourself in this process anymore. Like, you need to just make sure that this is what you are doing. Okay. And then they had the nerve to say, do you feel like you need to ask her some questions to get closure? No, she doesn't. There's nothing she needs closure on. Chris is an asshole. Chris is a bitch ass nigga. Okay. That is what Chris is. There's no need for any closure on anything at all. Period. That's it. That's all. Chris had the nerve and the audacity to sit there and say, out of all the women in Georgia y'all could choose from, y'all had to pick her. There's so many beautiful Black, white, Latino women. That's what y'all found for me? That she just wasn't attractive in the face? Bitch, fuck you. You ain't attractive at all. You sound like you got something stuck in your goddamn throat. You look like something threw up in your face. Your hairline is fucked up, and I hear your bank account matches. Bitch, I wish you would. Do you understand how nasty, how self-centered, how narcissistic you have to be to sit there on national TV and totally throw all of your shit aside, but make all of these excuses for your behavior? And then at the end of it all, when Pastor, what's his name? Pastor Jamal, whatever the man's name is, said, do you think you owe her an apology? He said no. You don't think that you owe her an apology? Let's start from the beginning and work our way back. You were having a sexual relationship with your ex-fiance while you were going through the process of them helping you find a wife for Married at First Sight. You had already signed up to be on the show while you were out here having unprotected sex with your ex-fiance. Then you had sex with this woman, and to hear her tell the story, you sort of pressured her into having sex with her, knowing you were not attracted to her. You was just horny and trying to get you some. Told the woman the next day, wasn't really attracted to you, even though I rolled over this morning and had sex with you again, wasn't really attracted to you. Then you came back. Hey, Ariel. Hey, boo. That's my girl right there, y'all. Ariel here. Then you came back and said, oh, by the way, my ex-fiance is pregnant. And then you told her, and I'm open to getting back with her because I can't imagine my child being raised in a house without me. Then you told her In the midst of y'all having that bullshit Bible study class, oh yeah, I bought her a car because she need a car to ride my child around. Then you sat there in front of Pastor Kyle and said, and I'm going to buy her a house. But you don't think you owe her a motherfucking apology? You have got to be, listen. You are a horrible excuse for a man. Excuse me, a little boy, because there's nothing manly about you. You a bitch. You are a bitch made nigga. Like, and y'all know I don't even be calling people like that, but that I just don't have nothing else for him. I just don't. I have nothing else for him. I don't have nothing else for him. He is an absolute horrible human being. He is a horrible excuse for a man. Horrible. There's no redeeming quality in him. And the only thing that I hope anybody walked away from this show is that now, hopefully that all the women in Atlanta are put on notice, and when they see that bitch coming, they walk in the other direction. Although we know that ain't gonna happen. But I hope so. I hope if one woman is saved from a headache from dealing with his bitch ass, I just hope that's it. That's all. Listen. Right. Had told us, well, Paige could have come with them to buy the car. Then had the nerve to be in his feelings talking about something, well, she don't answer the phone when I call. For what reason? For what reason does she need to call you, sir? To say what? To say what? Talking about the only time she showed up was when it's time to film, because she is fulfilling her contract so she can move the fuck on with her life. She is doing what she has to do to fulfill her contract so she can move the fuck on with her life. Fuck you, Chris. You a bitch ass nigga. Talking about some she wasn't pleasing in the face. Bitch, put a mirror up. Put a mirror up. I know, SCK. And the sad thing is they're going to be women who watch this show and say, well, he won't do that to me. And they're going to be open to dating his bitch ass. Lee Pepper says that Lee Pepper said he watched every season and Chris is the worst. And like I said, my thing is, it's okay. It's okay if you're not attracted to her. That's fine. But then don't put her through. I'd rather you had done what Ryan is doing to Claire. Just don't have no sex with her. Just, show up when it's time to film. Wait your 7 weeks out and move on. But that ain't what you doing. That ain't what you did. And I believe her when she said that he sort of pressured her into having sex. I believe her when she said that. I believe her when she said it. Because hell, even his creepy ass daddy was talking about a honeymoon baby. Let's not forget how creepy his daddy is. Little baby said, I don't even watch the show, but I know that pleasing in the face usually comes from a bridge troll, child. Tracy says she's watched every season and he's worse. See, this is my first season, so I don't have nothing else to reference, but child. But then by the time I feel like I can fall in love with you. Because he was lying, Xavier. He's a narcissist. He was fucking lying. He was fucking lying. No, he can't fall in love with her. He has no interest in falling in love with her. He ain't trying to fall in love with her. He don't want to fall in love with her. He has no interest in that woman. None. None. I don't even know what his motivation was for going on this show. Hey, Monk Chip. Hey, baby. And his mom knew exactly the type of son she got. She just, listen, you right. His mama just ate her little salad and went on by her business. She was like, ate her little salad and went on by her business. Well, he famous. I don't know if it's the kind of fame he want, honey, but he famous. He got some attention. I don't know if it's the attention he want, but he got him some. Anyway. Yeah, he lost his Subway. I mean, I guess he still got his little job that he had. He said he was making good money at his job. I mean, I think Chris probably got a little piece of change. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think he balling like he tried to act like he balling. But I think he got a little piece of change. Anyway. All right, y'all. So that is Married at First Sight, season 12, episode 13. That is my breakdown, my opinion. We will see what ends up happening, honey. Like I said, out of all of the couples, there's only one couple that I'm still kind of rooting for. But Bree, I gave you the side eye this weekend. On this episode, I had to give you the side eye, boo-boo. But I'm still rooting for you because I think I really don't think you're a bad person. I just think you're used to getting what you want. I think that you're spoiled and that you've been by yourself for so long and you make good money that you're used to treating yourself a certain way. And it's going to be hard for you to sort of tell yourself that you can't have what you want when you want it. Okay. You don't want to put yourself on a budget. The kid thing, well, that's a whole nother conversation. But I got my eye on you, Miss Bree. But out of all of the couples, if any couple is going to stay together, that's the one I would be okay with. The rest of these people need to just cut their losses and keep it moving, child. They need to cut their losses and keep it moving. So I wonder if he got the car back since she's not having a baby. Yeah, he probably did because that's the kind of bitch he is. He probably that kind of person that when she lost the baby was probably like, yeah, I want that car back. I'm sure. Because he did all of that because he was trying to get back with her. It was never about the child. It was about him trying to get back with her. But she said they ain't getting back together, so. Oh, Lord. I wonder if he got the car back. Oh, I just read that. Thank you, Monk Chip. Thank you. All right, let me get off of here. So we had a members only live earlier today, and I don't see Belize in the chat, but thank you, Belize. Belize hit me with a super chat at the end of the live. I had already closed out the live, so I didn't see it until I couldn't, until it was too late. So thank you, Belize. If you are watching the playback, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. And we had a nice little members only live earlier today, honey. If you were a member and you missed it, I'm sorry that you missed the live, but you can catch the replay. I did a little story time. I told y'all about my little Atlanta trip. And we talked a little bit of RuPaul or whatever. Y'all gonna get RuPaul tonight, T.S. Madison experience, and I'm gonna try to get you Housewives and Married to Medicine. So I'm gonna try to get you all that tonight. So that's what it is. Don't forget, shop Avon. Avon, real quick, Avon is running a sale. For those of you that like your skin so soft, let me share with y'all. Avon is running a little bit of a sale right now, okay? If y'all like y'all skin so soft, here's what we got going on, okay? Avon, they're selling the sets. You can get the oil and the shower gel. They have the sets of the oil and the shower gel. And if you order the set, then you get a free shower gel and lip balm. So if you order the set and it's on any of the Skin So Softs, you can mix and match it on any of the Skin So Softs. And then if you order the set, you automatically get a free shower gel and some Skin So Soft lip balm. And remember, I told you if you have Rakuten, it's 4% cash back. So you can get your 4% on your order back, and then you can go on and get you some Skin So Soft. Okay. With that being said, y'all, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you. Peace.